How to hire a team plus fill in the blank hiring templates. So there's two ways to outsource, right? The first way is creating a full team that's going to work together to generate videos, right? And there's 7 different positions to fully automate the channel, and each person is going to have a different role in the content production process. And for the most part, they go in order. And really the idea is the next person can't work on anything until the previous step is completed, right? So for example, you got the script writer, the voice actor, the video editor, the thumbnail designer, and then some other roles. So each position in order. Number 1 is the creative director. So the creative director's job is to come up with video ideas from start to finish. That means they're going to need to think of a video idea, they're going to need to think of a title, and they're going to need to think of a thumbnail, right? And it's all just about the idea. They're not going to be making the thumbnail, they're just going to be thinking of an idea for it. Second role is an SEO specialist, right? So they're going to be the person doing the keyword research to find those high-ranking keywords that are going to be used in the script, the video itself, the title, the tags, and the description to help rank the video in the algorithm. Then we have, the script writer, right? So their job is to write a very compelling script to keep the viewer hooked from the first word to the last. They're also going to implement the keywords in the beginning. They're going to include something to keep people watching every 30 seconds. They're going to write the description, and they're going to do everything else that we discussed in the script section in chapter 3, right? Then we have the voiceover artist. They are going to proofread the script, and then they're going to record a voiceover of the script. And again, right, don't waste your time with a fake text-to-speech voice. It does not work, right? It doesn't work. Don't even try it. Video editor. So the video editor, they're going to create a visually engaging video using the voiceover, right? And, using the script, they're going to be able to determine, which keywords go at the beginning. They're also going to, include a bunch of visual elements to match the audible keywords, such as images or text. Because remember, YouTube looks at keywords in the actual video, both from the audio and what's in the actual video within the first 30 seconds. Then they're going to put together the rest of the video. They'll combine all the clips that the scriptwriter referenced in the script. They're going to put the stock footage together. They're going to find the stock footage, images, all that stuff. Right, they're going to be the ones responsible for finding all of the stock footage. Then we have the thumbnail designer. What they're going to do is they're going to create an attention-grabbing thumbnail based off of the title and content of the video, right? They're also going to look at the thumbnail idea from the creative director. Then we have a virtual assistant to take care of basic tasks. What they're going to do, they're going to watch each video, check it for errors, right? And whether it's spelling errors, weird clips in the video, stuff that just doesn't make sense. Their job is to catch those before the video is uploaded and published. And if anything's wrong, they'll send it back to the editing team. They're also going to upload the thumbnail for the video, implement the title, the tags, the descriptions, end screens, subtitles, and they're also going to schedule the video for it to be published. They're also going to answer your emails, such as sponsorship opportunities and stuff like that, handle copyright issues, handle disputes, cut out footage that's copyrighted, everything like that. Then we have an optional position, which is an operations manager. This is how you completely remove yourself from the entire process. Because inevitably, with 7 different people working on one video, there's going to be some times where they'll have to ask you questions. And an operations manager will kind of supervise the entire operation so that whenever the team has questions, they're going to be asking the operations manager instead of you. And they'll also help with bringing on new employees. They'll hire people, they'll train new ones, and keep everything organized, right? It's really great to have. But again, it's optional. You don't have to have one. But if you really want to remove yourself from the whole process, then you really do need to have one. So that's the first way, right? That's the first way to outsource, is to hire all these different people and create, this line where they all work together. The second way to outsource is hiring one person to do all of the content creation. And this is what I recommend if you're the type of person who wants to just keep things as simple as possible. The downside, though, is you're not going to be able to scale past one channel, since one person can only do so much. And it's also much more difficult to find one person who can do everything needed without you being involved in the process, right? Because with a full team, although it costs more, you can scale much easier, which will totally compensate for the extra cost. And the benefit of having one person to make the videos is there's less moving parts. With less moving parts, there's less of a chance of something breaking and something going wrong. And you'll also only be talking to one person, and they'll be able to train and hire any new people that come onto the team afterwards. And a common question I get with this method is, well, Dylan, why would one person make the videos for me when they could just go make their own channel? Or, won't they catch on to what I'm doing and realize that they can just do this for themselves and quit and start their own channel? Well, not really, right? They could, but they aren't going to, right? At least not most of the time. Because they're willing to offer a service and they want to get paid for their work, right? Maybe they're too lazy to start their own channel. Maybe they don't understand that success on YouTube is heavily dependent on staying consistent. Maybe they can't afford to take time themselves to create the videos and wait until the channel picks up traction, right? There's just so many things that go into it, and there's so many reasons why they aren't just going to quit and go start their own channel. Even if they do quit and start their own channel, whatever, right? Just hire someone new. It doesn't matter, whatever reason they might quit and start their own channel. Just take advantage of the fact that there's people out there willing to do the work for you at relatively low costs. And really, when it comes to me, I would rather spend a few weeks building out a system with 7 different positions, since it's going to allow me to scale easier in the long run than spend the same time trying to find one person who can do the work for one channel. Right, and there's a lot of time that goes into creating videos, and with one person, you're very quickly going to realize how much more help you need if you're actually looking to scale past one channel, right? And it's entirely up to you. Whatever you want to do, if you want to go with one person at first and hire a team for your second channel, that's totally fine. Just go whichever sounds best to you. It really doesn't matter in the end. So now I want to talk about my secret hiring method. And my secret hiring method is something that I call the 10-1-1 hiring method. So the reason it's named that is because it's 10 people, 1 task, 1 person. And the idea behind it and why it works so well is instead of just hiring one worker who seems like they're a good fit and sticking with them, you get work done from 10 different people to see who performs the best, and then you decide, out of those 10 people, you decide who you give more work to. Because what happens is there's a lot of people out there who's gonna, they're gonna show you great examples of their past work, right? They have great resumes, all this stuff, but they might end up giving you poor quality work. And so with this 10-1-1 method, you can sift through multiple contractors and workers to pinpoint who's the best, right? So here's how to do it. First of all, always hire people from India, Pakistan, and the Philippines, since they're incredibly hard workers and it's cheaper than any other country. The only person that you must hire from the US or Canada is the voiceover artist, right? Unless you can somehow find someone in another country that also speaks very fluent English with no accent, then that would be fine. But generally, the voiceover artist has to be in Canada or the United States. So this 10-1-1 hiring method will require some additional capital, but it's going to pay off massively in the long run when you're getting the best possible videos made. And so you're going to do this with every single position that you hire, right? So for example, if you're hiring a video editor, you would hire 10 different people to edit the same exact video at the same exact price, right? It's not going to work if you just ask them to make a sample for you. Because by them giving you a sample, like a free sample, that's not going to reflect how they perform with paid work. Because what happens is a lot of people ask them for free samples just to get free work out of them, right? And so although this might seem like a massive waste of money, you're going to learn a few things, right? You're going to see which person produced the highest quality video, and you're going to see who was able to complete the video without having to ask you any questions. Right, and it's also why it's important that you never cheap out, right? For example, although one video editor might be $2 cheaper, he may actually end up costing you way more than $2 by not being able to figure out problems himself and solve things on his own, right? So again, you're gonna hire 10 different people for the same exact task at the same exact price. Then, once everyone's turned their work in, you're going to need to look at the final results to determine who you're going to continue to give more work to. Right, and so let's look over some job post templates. So these templates shouldn't be copied word for word. You're going to have to make some changes depending on what niche you're in and what types of videos you're looking to create. But generally, here's some important things to include. Make it very clear what you want, right? And I like to break this down into hard skills and soft skills. So hard skills are technical and specific to the job. So for example, ability to write scripts for YouTube videos, that would be a hard skill. Soft skills are more related to them, like such as being able to take direction, work in teams, stuff like that. And you don't have to include everything, but you need to include just enough so that they have a very clear idea of what type of person you're looking for. Right? Everything needs to be clear, it needs to be concise, it needs to be easy to read. If it's way too long, contains too many details, all you're going to do is confuse people. So there's a fine line there, and we'll talk about that more later on. And you also need to specify that you're looking to hire them full-time salaried. And so here's some different job post templates for the first way of outsourcing, right? Hiring 7 different people who are all going to work together. So first is the creative director. So the best way to hire a creative director is to put them through a short test that you can make with Google Forms, right? And trust me, without this, it's going to be very hard, and really there's no way to determine if someone has a creative mind capable of this position. So, right, click right here, and it's going to bring up a thing, sign in, and you'll be able to make a copy of this Google form. And I cannot even describe how easy I've made it for you by giving you these so that you can copy them with a click of a button, right? Because I sat down and I was creating, right? I was part of the creation process of these exact job applications with a YouTuber who has 15 million subscribers. So, he knows a thing or two about hiring people. So once you open up the Google form, it's going to look like this, right? And you're going to need to edit this for the specifics of your channel. So section 1, you're going to leave this alone, right? Don't touch it. It's going to stay the same no matter what type of channel that you have, right? And basically when people click on this, it's going to say, job, creative director. As a creative director, it's your job to come up with video ideas from start to finish. This means you need to come up with a video idea, a video title, and a video thumbnail, right? It's all about the idea, so no need to make the actual thumbnail. You make them put their first and last name and their email. Section 2, this is where we're really going to get into testing their creative skills. So you're going to need to replace this with a future video that hasn't been released to your channel yet. You're going to have the final title and then come up with 4 titles that you wouldn't use, right? And what this is going to do, it's going to test their ability to think of a good title for the thumbnail. So again, this is going to be a video that you're actually going to upload to your channel, but you haven't yet posted it. I'm going to open this up here so that you guys can see exactly how to edit this. So you're going to make a copy. So again, section 1, you're going to leave this the same. Don't touch section 1. So for section 2, you're going to replace this image. So these 3 dots, click on these 3 dots and click change on the image. That's going to be the thumbnail for a real video that you haven't yet uploaded. You're going to have the real title, right? You're going to have everything planned out, right? This is a real video that you're actually going to upload. You're going to have the real title, but you're not going to include the real title in any of these. What you're wanting to do is test their creative ability. So you know what the real title of the video is going to be, and then you're going to include 4 fake titles, right? 4 that wouldn't be good titles. So 10 most ingenious machines, top 10 most extreme machines ever built, 10 of the most satisfying machines. These 10 genius machines will blow your mind. Those were none of the titles for this video, right? I don't even remember what the actual title of this was, but it wasn't any of these, right? And so they're going to see this other option. On the other option, right, that's what you're looking for. If people are typing stuff in the other, that's good. That's testing their creative ability. That shows that they're a creative person who's able to come up with good titles. And so, to complete section 2, there's also going to be this video, right? create a title for this thumbnail. You're not going to give them, examples you're not going to give them titles to choose from. In this one, they're just going to come up with one for this thumbnail, right? So again, in your video, you're going to click the three dots, replace this image with a real thumbnail that you're planning on using, and you're going to do the same thing for this one below, right? Click the three dots, change this to a real thumbnail that you're going to use on your channel. And there's another one, right? You're going to do the same for here. Change this to a real one that you're going to use on your channel. And so that brings us, right, section 2 is all about titles, right? Section 2 is for titles. Section 3 is video ideas, and this is where it gets really advanced, and this is what filters out the people who are not serious about applying for this job and the people who are. So in section 3, they're going to think of a video idea, a title idea, and a thumbnail idea, and they're also going to have to include a description of what the video is going to be about, right? And so make sure you change this out for whatever your video is going to be centered around, right? So you would change this. They should be based off similar high viewed videos on other channels. These videos should be mainly focused around, and you're going to change this out. All right, so I put tech, gadgets, and inventions style content, but it shouldn't be limited to this. If you're in the scary stories niche, you could put around scary stories, scary ghost videos, whatever is specific to your niche, right? And you're also going to replace your replace Tech Vision, because your channel isn't Tech Vision. You're going to replace that with your channel name. And so what this does, again, this tests their ability to think of video ideas. They're going to come up with the video idea, the title idea, and the thumbnail idea. Right, so just so you can understand how this works, a video idea is very simple. It's the idea behind a video. The videos we're looking to create should be around 8 to 10 minutes long. They should be fairly simple to create and consist of stock footage, videos, or images that can be found online. They should be based off similar high-viewed videos on other channels. These videos should be mainly focused around tech, gadgets, inventions style content, but shouldn't be limited to this. And then, they're going to use this following format to write down their video ideas, right? So the title, they're going to come up with a title. They're going to make a sketch of a thumbnail, right? Or upload a PNG in Google Drive. And then they're going to make a description of the video, right? They're not writing the description of the video, like the actual video description. What they're doing is they're telling you what the video is going to be about. So, in this example, a top 10 video of different ingenious machines. Here are some videos of them, and then they link some. So they're going to come up with 5 video ideas for your YouTube channel. And so once you've changed all this out, right? Once you've changed all 4 of these thumbnails, once you've changed out this section here, and put the titles here, you're going to click the send button in the top corner, and then you're going to click the link here, right? And I would shorten the URL and copy that, and boom, there you have it. So save that link because it's going to be very important for this next part, right? So here is a Twitter job post template. Again, you're going to have to make a Twitter account for your channel, and then what you're going to do is you're going to post a tweet with the following. Looking for a creative job on YouTube? Hit me up, right? Trials are open for a creative director job. If you're interested, please respond to this tweet and I'll hit you up. 18 plus only. And then you have a little note here. As a creative director, you have to come up with video ideas, titles, and thumbnails. So what you're going to do, right, and again, Twitter is the best place for this position, right? It's incredibly hard to find someone on Upwork, Fiverr, FreeUp, anywhere like that. I would go to Twitter to find someone for this position. And I wouldn't actually reach out to anyone on the freelancing sites until you've made at least 3 Twitter posts and haven't received any qualified people within a week, right? Then you can try looking on a freelancing site. And so, by the way, what you're going to do here, people are going to hit you up in the DMs, and then you're going to send them this link, right? Once someone responds to your tweet, you're going to say, hey, here's the first test. Please fill out everything in as good as possible, and let me know if you have any questions, right? And then you're going to paste this link right there and send them that message. For sites like Upwork, here is a template for the creative director position that you can download. Again, I wouldn't recommend using Upwork or anywhere. I would recommend looking on Twitter first for this one. And so, as a general rule of thumb, when you're making all of these job posts, this doesn't just apply to the creative director position. this applies to all of them, it's really important to include a random word, right? So for example, when you apply, include the word blue. And so what this is gonna do, it's gonna filter out people who are inattentive, right? Many people on these sites, what they do is they just mass fill out all these applications and they don't actually read what you had in your job post. And so if someone includes the word, blue, for example, you know that they actually read your post, right? And so again, creative director position, the best thing to use for this is Google Forms. Download my template, edit it to be your own, and get it done. So the next position is an SEO specialist. And I have all of the links here for you to download, right? You can download the same exact template in the Chapter 7 PDF, which you can download in the Chapter 7 introduction lesson. And so the SEO specialist will not be the one creating the title. What they're gonna do is they're gonna find keywords and then give them back to the creative director to implement them. Right? And so here's what the job post looks like. The job post title is looking for someone to do SEO for YouTube videos. Job post description. Hello, we run a YouTube channel about tech and we're looking for someone who can help with the SEO of our videos. We would provide you with the video topic and what it's about. When you apply, include the word blue and tell us about your previous experience doing SEO on YouTube videos. Requirements. Experience using Slack, experience using Trello, ability to do SEO for YouTube videos. Responsibilities. Optimize videos for search with titles, descriptions, and tags. Communicate on Slack daily with our team. Display a high level of professionalism at all times. Right? We're looking for someone to do work with long term on this. Also, please attach any SEO work that you've done in the past as samples, right? I look forward to hopefully working with you. Third position, hiring a scriptwriter. So depending on the channel, the scriptwriter might also need to find clips for your videos. And so if the scriptwriter is referencing specific clips, such as, this scary dash cam video, he needs to actually include the link to that video. So that then, whenever the editor is going through and editing the video, he knows exactly what clips the voiceover is talking about and where he can download them from. If it's more of a general video, for example, psychological tricks to be liked by people, then the video editor just needs to use stock footage, right? And so again, all of these have a pretty similar layout. Job post title, looking for a scriptwriter for YouTube channel. Description, hey, we run a YouTube channel about whatever. We're looking for someone to write original scripts. The scripts will need to be at least blank words each. You need to figure out how long your videos are going to be. Are they going to be roughly 10 minutes long? If so, that would be about 2,000 words, which is what I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend making them less than 8 minutes, and also wouldn't recommend making them more than 12 minutes. We would provide you with the video title and you would write an original script. When you apply, include the word blue, right? Requirements, those are basically the same. Responsibilities, write original and copyright free scripts that pass Copyscape 100%. Right, and we'll talk more about that later on. But that's just there. You want to make sure people aren't giving you scripts that are just stolen off the internet. Also, write scripts that can keep people hooked from the first word to the last, right? The fourth one is a voiceover artist. So again, we have the links here so you can download all of these, make a copy, and edit it for your own channel. Let's see. Right, they have to proofread the scripts and catch any errors before they do the voiceover, and record the voiceover error-free with proper pronunciations in fluent English. Fifth one is hiring a video editor. Now, depending on the channel, the video editor might need to find clips for your videos, right? Again, just like the scriptwriter is going to need to find, clips and link them. The video editor might also need to find clips, in the form of stock footage. Also, you can ask the editor, right? Make sure you ask them if they have a subscription to Storyblocks or, any other stock footage websites. If they do, that's a bonus, right? I don't give my editors any stock footage websites, right? They just find content for free or use their own. But, it's definitely worth asking about. So, their responsibilities. You need to tell them about how long the videos need to be, right? They need to, edit simple videos together using free stock footage, sync the voiceover with the corresponding footage. And then for the thumbnail artist, You can download the template here. Their responsibilities to create the YouTube thumbnail, right? Bring it to life based off of the video topic and the mock-up that the creative director made. Hiring a virtual assistant, right? What they're gonna do is perform basic tasks to help with the upload process, right? They need to have the ability to copy and paste, right? That's basically the only requirement. Responsibilities: copy YouTube video elements provided by our team and paste them into the corresponding places. And that is basically it. The second way, right? So we just went through all of the, job posts for the 7 different people to all work together, right? The other way is for hiring one person to make all of the videos, right? So if you're looking on YouTube to find someone, right, someone that runs a small gaming channel, go to their about page, right? We'll just pick one here. Doesn't really matter. Go to their about page, and okay, this guy doesn't even have an email, but if they do, it's gonna look like this. Go to their about page, and they're gonna have their email here or right here, right? You're gonna copy this, and you're gonna reach out to them, right? The subject line needs to be paid video opportunity, and then you're gonna say, hello, we run our YouTube channel to focus on making videos about whatever. Here is our channel link. We're reaching out because we're looking for a dedicated content creator for the channel. We will pay you whatever per video. We'll talk more about pricing later on. Let me know if you're interested, right? And sign it. Now, if you can't find anyone on YouTube to do this, here is a template for virtual worker sites, right? So we're looking for someone who can help create YouTube videos. We would provide you the video title and you would make the video around it, right? The videos need to be about 10 minutes long. Responsibilities, right? They're going to have a lot of responsibilities. They're going to need to write the script. They're going to need to do the voiceover. They're going to need to find the clips to use. They're going to need to edit the video. And then in each job post, by the way, I have the steps for what you need to do after posting the job. And so when you're posting these on, Upwork or whatever, you want to list the job category as the hardest part, such as video editing would probably be the hardest part. So if you hire an operations manager, which is optional, but I recommend it if you're totally wanting to take yourself out of the process, I would recommend giving them a percentage of the channel's revenue, usually only 3 to 5%, right? Any more than that, it's not really even worth hiring them, right? And the best way to do this is offer the position to someone who's already been working with you on a different job. So for example, if you have a video editor, right, and he's been working for you for like 6 months, ask him if he'd be interested in it. And then once you do find someone, you're gonna need to add them as an editor on the channel. So you're gonna go over to YouTube Studio, right here. You're gonna go to the settings, and you're gonna go to permissions, and then you can actually invite people, right? So you're gonna enter the email, and then the access, you wanna make sure that they are listed as the editor and not the manager, right? Just the editor. Which, if they are the manager, they can delete content in that case. But I would do editor just to be safe, right? Once you do that, enter their email and then, send it. Now we're gonna be talking about how to set up job listings, right? Because I gave you the templates. Now you need to know how to set them up and how much to pay people. So you have to understand how to set up the job listings, how to build trust, how much to pay for each position, and how to take work off of the site to avoid paying all those absurd fees. So the way I pay people is by a fixed amount per month for a certain amount of work. So for example, you're gonna pay them based on how many thumbnails they create, not by how many hours they worked. And in my experience, salary always works better than hourly, right? You get more work done and you pay significantly less for it. And so when you're first starting to work with someone, it's best to pay on a video by video basis, right? Or a job by job basis if you're hiring multiple positions. That way you're gonna build trust, right? The position will still be for full-time work. However, in order to build trust, you're gonna be paying them after each milestone. And they like this too, right? So for example, you're gonna pay them after every thumbnail that they make. You're not gonna pay them, once they make 10 thumbnails. Then, once trust builds and the work is being completed as it should be, you can begin transitioning to a week by week basis and have them complete 7 milestones at once instead of just one, right? And then once the weekly basis is going well, then you can make the full switch to a monthly basis, right? And that's where you'll be staying. And again, like I said, this is preferred by most workers as well, right? They don't want to do a month's worth of work and then have you not even pay them. And you don't want to pay them and then have them not even do the work, right? So this builds trust on both sides and ensures that everything goes well on both sides, right? And so I always recommend doing the first few milestones directly through the site that you're using. That way it's going to build trust with them. Because on most sites, how it works is you pay first, right? And the money doesn't go to them. It stays with the site. So, the worker sees, okay, well, they did pay for it. Now I'm going to do the work. Once they do the work, then you have to approve it, and then the money gets released to them. So by doing the first few jobs on the site, not only is it going to help them feel more comfortable with doing work outside of the site, it builds trust both ways, right? That way, you're not going to pay them and they're just not going to do the work. And so since we're paying on a job by job basis, when you actually go to post your jobs, it's very important to let people know that it's going to be a full-time position, right? You don't want to mistakenly confuse them and make them think that you're only wanting just one thumbnail made. And for this reason, I don't actually mention the test phase and how it all works until the interview happens, right? And we'll talk more about that later on. And again, most people, they're happy to start off on a job-by-job basis too, since trust building goes both ways. So remember, the first job that they complete, and again, they're going to be applying for a full-time position, the first job that they complete is only going to be a test to see if they're a good fit for long-term work. Right? And so with my 10-1-1 hiring method, you need to hire 10 different people for each position before determining who's going to be the best fit for more work. And usually you'll be able to make that decision within one job, right? So for example, you have 10 different workers do a voiceover for the same price on the same exact script. And so how do you set up a job listing? So most sites have a similar layout and functionality. So for the example in this course, we're going to be using Upwork, right? Upwork is what I recommend. FreeUp, I also recommend FreeUp as well. But for most people, especially as beginners, I would recommend starting off using Upwork, right? Stay away from Fiverr. I have found people on Fiverr that, still work for me today. Generally, you just want to stay away from Fiverr unless it's a one-time gig. So step number 1, you need to create an Upwork account. So find talent. You're going to go to upwork.com, click find talent, and you're going to create an account. All right, here we go. So once you create an account, you're going to click on post a job. Then you're going to select designated longer term work. Click continue. Now you're going to enter the title that was on the job post templates that I gave you. Looking for someone who can help create YouTube videos, right? And it should auto-populate here. And again, this is just an example. I wouldn't recommend hiring one person. You can do either one, but just for simplicity, I'm using, this one as an example. Right? So you're going to click next. And now, all right, I would make one that makes the most sense. You don't want to add a bunch in here because then what's going to happen is, you're going to have people who are good at graphic design applying for this, when most likely, graphic design isn't the hardest, job of this, all in one position. So just select whatever, best fits the job post that you're using. You're going to click next. Now you're going to select medium, more than 6 months, and I would do intermediate, right? So then next, location. This is important, right? Worldwide, you want to, unless you're doing voiceover, right? If you're looking for a voiceover, I would select, I wouldn't select US only, but I would do worldwide and select United States and Canada, right? If you're looking for a voiceover. Anything other than that, you're going to select India, Pakistan, and the Philippines, right? So India, and there you go, right? Next, budget. Now, this is important, right? You don't want to set a budget yet, because we're going to come back and do this later once we talk about pricing. And you also don't want to select hourly rate. So select project budget and then select not ready to set a project budget, right? Continue without budget. Now what you're going to do is you're going to grab the description in, the job template that I gave you, and you're going to copy this, right? You're going to copy that and paste it. And of course, right, make sure you edit this, right? We run a YouTube channel about scary stories, right? Fill all of this out. The videos need to be at least 8 minutes long each, right? And that's it. Now, stay on this page because we need to talk about pricing, right? Don't post your job yet. Don't set a price yet. We need to talk about pricing. So this is where so many people mess up. And depending on which site you're using, this may look a little bit different. On Upwork, will have the option to set individual milestones for each video or each thumbnail or for each whatever, for whatever you're hiring. So every time someone completes a milestone, right, or a video or a thumbnail, you'll be able to fund it. So for example, $100 will go into escrow and it'll be released only once they actually give you the work and you approve of it. So how much should you pay for each position? Remember, we're only going to be paying a fixed amount per month for a certain amount of work. So in order to calculate how much you'll pay them per month, right, again, these positions should only be for full time. You need to know how many videos you plan to upload every month. So in this, people ask me, Dylan, how many videos should I be posting to YouTube? Well, it depends on your budget, right? I recommend at least 2 videos a week. If you're not uploading at least 2 videos a week, you're really not going to be getting enough data to make meaningful decisions off of. If you want to grow really fast, I would go with 4 to even 7 videos a week, right? And it's important to not do more than 1 video per day, especially when starting out. So again, this is up to you. I would recommend a minimum of 2 videos a week. If you can't afford 2 videos a week, then you can't sacrifice. You're going to have to make them yourself. All right. So for example, let's say we hire 1 person to make the videos for our channel and we plan to upload 7 videos a week. The monthly cost on the low end would be $840, $1,680 in the mid range, and up to $2,800 on the high end, right? And that's per month, $2,800 per month on the high end, $840 on the low. And again, that's if you're uploading 7 times per week. So you have to do the math, depending on how much you're going to upload, how much you can afford, and you're going to see your price there. And this is why I recommend waiting until your channel is making some waves if you don't have a lot of capital to invest, right? Because you can significantly cut the cost by not uploading 7 videos a week, or you can even, do some of the work yourself. Like you can write the scripts, you can do the SEO, if you're willing to cut costs even further. Right. So now that you know how much you're going to pay, you're going to scroll down here and go to budget, right? So you're going to click this, project budget. And what you're going to do is you're going to be paying on a milestone basis. So I would set a placeholder for $1,000. Or whatever your monthly budget is here, right? So let's say for 1 person I would do $2,800. And again, you're not going to be paying $2,800 at once. You're going to be able to negotiate, but you need to set that as the placeholder, right? So click on save, and then you're going to go down to advanced preferences, right? And you're going to select English level. All right, now this depends on the position, right? Use common sense. If it's a voiceover, you better select fluent or better, or native, right? Time requirement, again, these are full-time positions, so more than 30 hours a week. Talent type, right? You want to select independent, because I've just generally found that agencies don't work that well for anything. And then hire date, right? 1 to 3 days or 1 week, right? You gotta factor in the test phase as well. So I'll do 1 week. Number of professionals needed, 1 person, right? You should never check more than 1 person. 1 person. Job success score 90% up. Amount earns at least 10,000. right? And so this is going to give you the, the top of the top freelancers on the site. And just as a reminder, right? And this one is more specific for Fiverr, but anytime that you see commercial rights, full broadcast rights, you don't need that, right? It's just YouTube videos. The only reason that's even there is not only to get more money out of you, but if you're promoting a product or a service or plan to use it in paid ads, then you need to purchase those. But just for regular YouTube videos, don't waste money on these, because not only do you not need them, but they're ridiculously expensive, right? $40 for commercial rights and $80 for broadcast rights. That's a ripoff, right? Don't buy that. Once you're done filling out all of this stuff, right, you're going to post your job. And after that, you're going to wait on all the applications to absolutely pour in. And so I would suggest waiting at least 24 hours before going through any of your applicants. And the reason for that is if you do it too soon, you're going to miss out on everyone who's going to apply, right? Not everyone is going to apply the second that you post it. So wait 24 hours, then look through everyone. After you have posted the job, you're going to receive a ton of applications. This goes back to the 10-1-1 hiring method and the test phase. You're going to go through all of the applicants and pick 10 people who've left the best application and example work. Then you're going to interview all 10 of those people, and if they pass the interview, have them complete a paid test voiceover, right? You're going to have all 10 of them complete a paid voiceover, just one, from the same script for the same exact price, right? You can't get free test work done. It has to be paid. If you get a free, test of what their work is, that's not going to reflect what their paid work is like. Then we'll compare all the voiceovers, or this goes for anything, all the videos, all the thumbnails, whatever. You're going to compare all 10 of those, which we'll talk about later, right? So for the interview, here's how the interview goes down, right? Before you interview people, you need to narrow it down to 10 people. Then you're going to send them just a short message, right? Let them know that you've received their application and tell them that, that you think that they're going to be a good fit for the job. Keep your message short and to the point. Don't fill it with unnecessary stuff, and end the message by asking if they're still interested in the job, because, what happens is, depending on how long you waited from the initial application, they might have already found other work. So you want to make sure that they're actually still available. So your message needs to look like this. Hey, Billy Bob, saw your application, thought you'd be a great fit. Just to confirm, are you still interested in potentially working with me, right? I'd love to go over a few things to get this rolling, right? That's it. Super simple to the point. Yours might be slightly different. The point is just to ensure that, let them know that you saw the application and you think they'd be a great fit, and ask them if they're still interested in working with you. Then you'll, quote unquote, interview them. So the interview is basically just a series of messages, right? You're going to ask them questions to see if you think they'd be a great fit for the position, right? And by sending them these messages, you're going to assess the skills, find out, their level of English, if it's necessary for the position, how serious they are about the job, and really just get a sense of their attitude, right? You don't want to hire people who are too entitled and are, asking you why are you asking me all these questions? This is yet another way to filter out people who aren't serious. Now, should you conduct the interview by calling them or, video chatting with them? You can, but there's some disadvantages to that, right? Generally, it depends on who you're hiring. I would say it's only necessary if, the main part of the job is speaking, right? And it'll let you know how well they can speak English. And also, a lot of people on these sites prefer not to chat face-to-face or even to chat with you like voice-to-voice at all. So by requiring a call, you may lose some people, just to let you know, right? You may lose some people, especially for positions that don't require a lot of speaking, like thumbnail artists, video editing, script writing. Those people may be a little shy. They don't want to get on the call. And that's totally fine, right? Just because someone doesn't want to get on the call with you doesn't mean you shouldn't hire them. But I'm just letting you know, if you want to interview them over the phone, that's fine. But you're going to lose some people. So here's the questions and things to explain in your interview. So the interview, these questions shouldn't be sent all at once, right? Don't just send them a huge wall of questions. That's going to freak them out. And it's not only that, but by sending the messages one by one, right, you're going to send a message and wait for the response. This is going to filter out people who aren't serious, because some of them, they'll get annoyed, like, why is this guy asking me so many questions? And that's going to filter those people out. Whereas if just send them a huge wall of questions, they can just answer them all at once and be done with it. So first of all, tell them, about the test phase and how it'll work, right? First, you're going to have them complete a paid test to see if they'll be a good fit. Explain to them that multiple people have already applied and you need to narrow it down through a paid test, right? And of course, the test has to be paid so that they'll complete it as they normally would. Next message, you're going to, right, and wait for the response. If they don't reply, you're done with that person. They're out. They have to reply. Once they reply, send them the next question or, thing that you're going to explain. So the next one, explain the milestone by milestone basis to establish trust, right? It's going to start off job by job first. So for example, they'll be paid per thumbnail, right? Then once trust builds and the work is completed as it should be, then you can begin transitioning to a weekly basis and have them complete 7 milestones at once instead of just 1. Then, once the weekly basis is going well, then you can make the full switch to a month-by-month basis if they've, proven to consistently do quality work. Excuse me, I've been talking like all day recording this course. So the next the next thing you're going to explain to them is, tell them about the contracts and taking things off the platform. Make sure they're fine with that. So you're going to pay for the first couple of tests, right? And again, that's if they pass the initial 10-1-1 hiring method, you're going to pay for the first couple of jobs on the platform, if it makes them more comfortable. And by doing so, they know that you're not just trying to scam them and get free work, right? And we'll share contract templates later on. But the reason that you really don't want to be doing transactions on a site like Fiverr or Upwork is because of the fees, right? You want to take people off the site so that they're yours and you don't have to pay any ridiculous fees. And then ask them, how they prefer to be paid when going off the platform. Payoneer or PayPal is really what I would recommend for people to receive money from you. And then make sure they understand that everyone will be communicating as a team through Slack and using Trello for organization, right? And we'll discuss more about Slack, more about Trello later on, how to set all that up. But just let them know that they'll have to be using Slack and Trello, and they'll have to be interacting with other team members. And then ask them the following, right? And again, wait for the reply before asking another question. You're going to send these one by one. What other jobs or commitments do you have? How long do you estimate each whatever to take? Right? How long do you think each video will take? How long do you think each thumbnail will take? What is your experience with similar projects or tasks? Rate your skills, from 1 to 10 and explain your ratings. Right? That's a good one. Is there anything outside of the project that could, interfere with you completing it? When can you start? How did you get into this field? What questions do you have for me? Right? So once you've asked them all these questions again, right? Go one by one, waiting for the reply, right? Send these one by one. Don't just send them all at once. And so once you've asked them a bunch of questions and explained how everything's going to work, then you're going to know which candidates are fit for the test, right? For the 10-1-1 hiring method test. And make them an offer for this test right away, right? Don't make them wait, or else, you're going to risk them finding other work from someone else. So once you make the offer, right, make sure you lay out your expectations for employment very clearly once they do pass the test, right? So how many thumbnails they're going to need to make, what their starting pay is going to be, all right, and you can negotiate that, and a bonus if the channel has a good month, right? You're going to incentivize them to do really great by giving them a bonus if the channel has a good month. How much time they're going to be able to take off. I would recommend allowing them 2 week-long vacations per year. And also, it's really important that you have them send just a summary at the end of the day of what they've been working on and what questions that they have, right? We have everyone send those to the Slack channel to have it all consolidated there, but you can also have them send it to your email. And it's also very, very important to let them know that it's okay to ask questions, right? They shouldn't be afraid to ask questions. Sometimes They'll just ghost you because they're afraid that you're going to get mad if they're asking a bunch of questions, right? Let them know it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to ask questions. You're human too, and you'll be well off. Another thing that I've heard and have also experienced is sad stories, right? So don't fall victim to sad stories. Occasionally you'll run into some people who just tell you this awful story about, their family's hungry, they need the money, they need the job really bad, they need the money for Christmas presents, whatever, right? They're going to make up some ridiculous story. And, whether it's true or not, I don't know. It's probably not, but, just avoid people like that because, I've never hired anyone like that, but I did hear from someone who did hire someone like that. It just usually doesn't work out. All right, so here's an example that I got, right? Can I have this job, please, so I can earn money for Christmas, right? It just looks unprofessional, right? Also, they didn't include the word blue like I told them to. And yours doesn't have to be blue. You could say include the word cow, include the letter A, right? Most of the time, when people tell you that they need the job because they need money for something and tell you some sad story, it's just unprofessional, right? It looks unprofessional.